I was not expecting this to gain as much traction as it did. Hello everyone, local Diamond 4 Crashout here. Losing my mind over the possible leaked changes for LMG so bad that I decided to go back to Overwatch 2. Anyway, how's everyone doing? I wasn't expecting that little rant I made a couple of days back to gain as much traction as it did, but the algorithm works in mysterious ways, and I won't complain about it. I think one of the big things I wanted to preface and say is that I made that last video out of frustration. I just felt like screaming into the void and getting said frustration out instead of bottling it up, as bottling things up is not a good thing. Anyone would tell you that. Now that the frustration is out of the way, I've got a couple of things to address. Yes, we have been in objectively worse metas than this. Seer release easily being one, if not the worst, and from my own personal opinion, the Valk meta. But that one is because every Valkyrie team I tried fighting when she was meta ended up running instead of standing their ground. Fucking cowards. I did want to read a couple of comments from the video and try and see what people are saying about the current state of Apex Legends. I can safely say I wasn't expecting as many people to feel the same way I did. Also, I'd like to add an addendum for the previous video. Broken Moon isn't a shit map. Far from it, but considering someone on the dev team decided to turn the tree sentient for a couple of days, I've missed having it in the map pool for the week it wasn't available, I think added to said frustration. Right, moving on to the first few comments, minus the ones that just boiled down to skill issue, because yes, that's exactly what it was, and I said it was a skill issue from the get-go. However, since I felt like reading comments, oh my god, this name. Let's see if I can read it with a straight phrase. Free Diddy69 says, Respawn needs to have a sit down and play this video for all the devs. This is what players actually feel like. Yeah, even if Respawn did sit down the devs, played them that specific video or any other video complaining about the matter, they've already been talking to content creators about it, especially the bigger ones like Burno and stuff like that, and they know the devotion is a problem. If they actually do end up nerfing them or changing things completely, I'd be surprised. But knowing Respawn and, by extension, the upper brass at EA, all they'll do is they'll throw in another heirloom or prestige skin and call it a day. Like I said, if they address the issues and the problematic parts, I'd be a hell of a lot happier to never see a Diva Ballistic combo ever again. And I'll say it again for all the people in the back, fuck the devotion. Moving on, we have Coco Love, who says, It's so frustrating because I've had AFK teams, people who do less than 200 damage, then on top of Pred's Masters 3 stacking with 2 Devos each. Yes, I've seen all 3 with double Devos, getting DDoSed, Cronus Zen users everywhere. I had a Masters player on my team who kept purposely dying because Plat is easy, there's no Zen players, and was throwing everyone's game. This season's split seems pathetic. Yeah, I think we've all been there. With the under 200 damage randoms, then running into a Master/Pred team, running full meta, I mean, I've run into it myself while 3 stacking with my friends, and it's not a fun experience when that happens. On top of that, Cronus Zen and by further extension cheaters in general, turn this game into a fucking nightmare. Especially when people actively try to hide the fact that they cheat. Then it turns into a mental toss-up of, am I just dog shit at this game, or is that dude actually cheating? Both answers suck, both answers make you feel bad, and honestly, just ban the Cronus Zen, and ban scripts in general. This shit is stupid. As for that one guy who kept throwing, fuck that guy. Plat or not, throwing is a dick move. Solaris Genesis says, For real, this video was funny, lol. After devotion is the biggest truth ever. I played 5 hours in ranked to try and get a video, and I hate when my team hot drops on a POI with 6 different teams, and they do absolutely 0 damage and we're in diamond lobbies. Like, if you know you're not that guy, land somewhere safe. Losing 65 up off drop makes me so mad. Great vid, bro. I'm jealous of your intro, lol. Also from Solaris, they add on to this. Also, I really believe at this point, even if the devotion doesn't get the turbo, it's still going to be meta at this point. If everyone on the team uses it, there's no stopping it and no point in using anything else. And with a Ballistic on the team, it's a done deal. The only way to stop it is making a 4th slot care package and putting it in there, or it's going to be meta for seasons to come. For one, appreciate the kind comments in the video, that's a nice confidence boost for real. As for the randoms hot dropping and doing 0 damage, yeah, felt that. Minus 65 off rip is a surefire way to put you in a bad mood. It for sure shit does for me. One minus 65 isn't too bad, it's when you get back to back, minus 65s is when you put down the game and stop for the day. As for the devotion continuing to be meta, no. Yeah, no, please no. Anything but more LMGs, I can't stand them anymore. I've had enough of Ballistic devotion, and I don't want to see it anymore. And recently it came to my conclusion through talking to some of my other friends and actually, like, looking around doing research. Can we please revert the LMG hipfire changes? I get it. You wanted to make LMGs a lot more viable close range, but with, well, to be fair, hindsight is 2020, isn't it? And it turned it into a LMG hipfire meta where it just wasn't fun. And to be fair, they had their niche of being a high damage mid-range weapon. So if we can turn them back into high damage mid-range weapons, please, that'd be great. Or do what I'm going to ask Respawn. Delete both Ballistic and Devotion, please. I can't do this anymore. Michael Garcia actually also says, no other Legends' abilities impede you from fighting / playing the game, but Ballistic does, plus he moves faster and has a gold devo to make it even more unfair. Revenant Tack used to lock down your abilities, but you could keep fighting. What happened? Respawn reset Revenant Kit completely. Yeah, Revenant Silence might have shut down your abilities, but you could at least still shoot a gun. You can't even do that when you get hit with Ballistic Q. You could technically fire off and control bursts, but let's be honest, when is anyone, or any one of us, controlled firing in this game when in close combat? Maybe if you get tagged by a rogue bullet, and it's a poke war between marksman weapons and snipers, sure, that could work. No one really pushes off a marksman war. But 90% of what happens when you get tagged by a ballistic bullet is you're being swung by an ash at the same time, and you are forced to shoot the gun, you overheat, then you get snared. You're practically dead at that point, it's wraps. Like, pack it up and leave, little bro. It's such a unfun thing to deal with. I mean, there's been worse, yeah, but I think it's just the complete inability to fight back that makes this a lot more unplayable than it should be. And unfortunately, reverting Revenant's kit, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. Respawn doesn't want to bring back Death Totem, they don't want to bring back Silence, and there's one thing I think a lot of people don't realize is when it comes to modern day Apex versus the older versions of Apex, let's specifically go back to the Seer meta. You want to know the difference between Seer meta and this meta? Seer meta didn't have perks. Seer meta didn't have the game playing itself for you. Yes, Seer basically gave you free information. Yes, it's silenced. Yes, it stopped healing. Yes, it gave everyone on your team wall hacks alongside health bars and shit like that. You couldn't fight back in a technicality, but you could still shoot a gun. You could fight back even if you were at an extremely heavy disadvantage. Now, with the perk system, the TTK being reduced, you die quicker, you get progressively stronger as the game goes along. Hence why I was saying, like, at a mid-blue or a purple ballistic, there's a good chance you get hit with 45 seconds of ultimate and 2 silence bullets. Because I'm gonna keep it realistic with you, no one's picking the quadruple tack charges over the 45 seconds of ultimate. And level 3, well, silence bullets. Can't shoot your gun, can't use your abilities. You're fucked, mate. You're fucked. But with Seer, at least you could shoot back, and hell, even the support meta. There was a lot of nuance with the support meta. But in the TLDR, Revenant Revert is not happening. Zare Smart says, "Thank you, he understands my pain, every last bit of it." Yep, I understand the pain. I understand the pain way too well. Eric Sanchez says, anybody who's hard stuck, your problem is you're not taking fights before being in top 5. You want to get plus RP? Get consistent top 5s. Stop fighting too early and learn how to not take any fights. Play smart. Now, look, this is good advice if you're in gold or plat. Sure, you can play for top 5. You can play for no fights until top 5. Unfortunately, you know who else would be playing for top 5 in this case? Or who would be top 5 in this case? People who have been fighting the whole game. If you don't get fucked by Evo Harvester RNG, you'll still, at most, be in the middle of level 2 at best. Maybe if you're playing characters such as Alter with support perk, Ballistic, and, I don't know, any character with a scan or ring console, you could get level 3 if you really tried hard enough. But you're practically surrendering yourself to the RNG of the matchmaking algorithm when it comes to Diamond and especially Diamond and higher. You need your KP to make your gains. You need to play either early KP or late KP. A lot of people would say it's better to play early KP because that way you don't really have to worry and then you can play for position. So there's good incentives to take early fights. If you're not taking early fights, then you're either just really scared or you're not confident in yourself. And yeah, no, shit happens with that type of stuff. Because sometimes you will lose a fight off rip and get minus, and you will go minus. And it's just the way the game is. But when it comes to surrendering yourself to the matchmaking algorithm, I wouldn't recommend it. Because we all know just how dog shit this season has been for the ranked in regard of its matchmaking algorithm. And you know what? I'm just gonna tack this on to anyone who likes KC. I'm not sorry that I don't enjoy playing on a map that has been consistently dog shit since season 14. The map is open and empty. no good routes of rotation. It allows for some of the worst gameplay styles to become a consistent form of annoyance. It has its merits, like its POIs having a decent distribution of loot and having some interesting fight engagements. But the overall enjoyment of the map tanks drastically as the overall skill of a lobby increases. Rotating on KC is a pain in the ass, and I'll admit it's a complete skill issue. But it's still a pain in the fucking ass. And finally, we have my favorite comment. Vamp simply saying, if you don't play Mirage this season, you're selling for real. Only to get hit with, you smell of platinum. Damn. Just damn. You didn't have to go and murder the guy like that. There's nothing left. You've incinerated him. You Thanos snapped him out of existence. Bro was just simply making a suggestion, and he gets Thanos snapped. Damn. Poor guy. No, but in actuality, Mirage does have its uses. In all seriousness, Mirage has the ability to throw off ballistic locks, the ability to confuse people, and have you ever been stuck in the middle of a Mirage ult? There's so many footsteps, you start tweaking from the sound. It's sensory overload at that point. That and, well, the invisible rezzing, the invisible healing, it's really not that bad. Like, Mirage has its strengths. I'm just saying in comparison to the other, in comparison to the other 3 or 4 meta characters that are in the game, yeah, Mirage could be a good, little pocket pick. But theoretically, he gets shit on. Theoretically, he gets shit on. So, what I've come to the conclusion of in reading most of these comments is this. Most of us really dislike how the game is right now, and most of us would rather see things change. Now, I'm not a game developer. I don't have all the statistics and hard facts to back up my claims, but I do have my experiences from this season. I'll be frank, I was frustrated, I was pissed off, and I needed to vent. I don't exactly blame the developers for making these changes at the start of the season, as let's be honest, they don't have hindsight that these kinds of things would happen now, would they? I should heed some of the advice people have been giving in the comments and just take a break and not crash out over a game that's nearly 5-6 years old, which to be fair, I have been playing less and less, instead spending my time making YouTube videos such as this one, streaming other games, or just lazing around, napping and reading. But I will say this, just because I'm willing to crash out and complain about the game, doesn't mean I actually actively dislike the game. It means I care enough to point out the flaws and the problems that the game has. Yes, some people might enjoy how the season plays, and some people might enjoy how the season is. People that play the game a lot or like make this game their main game are complaining that it sucks, it's not fun to play, it's borderline unenjoyable, then something has to change. And when people complain about it and you tell them to just go play something else and stuff like that, it doesn't really help. I can understand what people are saying. It's like, bro, just take a break. Like, yeah, no, 100%. Registering complaints about a season or about how a game state really is shouldn't be seen as a bad thing or someone crying about it. Because like I've said, or like people have pointed out, we have been in worse metas. This one is just particularly unenjoyable. But I think I'm going to stop this little yapping session here. Until then, I think I'll just be clip farming or gambling in a gacha game. Either or, sounds like a good time to me right now. There was a whole load more comments I could have read out, but honestly, it was just nice seeing the amount of conversation sparked by that last video, even if it came from the tears of a raging Diamond 4 hardstuck. I can safely say a lot of us are feeling the same way I felt, and hopefully the upcoming cheeses? No. The upcoming changes from Season 26 can address a few things, but until then, I think I'll take that break from Apex. I might play Cyberpunk again, or something. I'll figure that one out. Links in the description as per usual. Twitch, Twitter, Discord, follow or join these if you want to. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. With the usual engagements and stuff done and all that jazz, I'll be getting back to life and I'll see you lot around. Look after yourselves, stay hydrated, and be sure to go get some fresh air when you need to. Believe me, a good walk can really help the mental. Alright, toodles!